Hello everyone, so Rhythm here. I am here with a first ever review video for Call of Duty World War II beta. Obviously this is not the full version of the game, but it gives you a good general taste of what is to be expected. So I'm going to go right off the opening scene. The opening scene showing all of the soldiers getting ready, moving, doing their old duties was really cool and unique. Made me feel like I was really getting into a story mode kind of deal. I thought it was really interesting, especially how they bring you right to the divisions to give you a good oversee of what the game's new class system is looking like, otherwise called as divisions. So it gives you a good overview of every one of the divisions out of the 5 to choose from, which I thought was really neat. So once you choose that, you go right into the initial menu layout to either go for a public match, or you can customize your division or class, whatever you would like to still call it. I still say classes, but anyway, you go into all these different menus, and the menu layout right now looks very bland and boring. I mean, it's definitely a little different than the previous COD titles. Even though I feel like they're both, all the COD menus were completely fine and, basic, straight to the point, easy to find stuff. This one's a little bit different. Obviously, there's not much there because this is a beta. So right now, I think this will do. Obviously, this will improve once the game finally comes out. So now I'm going to talk about the custom divisions and classes menu completely on their own, because I feel like this is the biggest change from Call of Duty title, from Infinite Warfare to Call of Duty World War II. So let's start off with the weapons. The weapons, honestly, I couldn't be more impressed with the actual weapons they have in the game. Obviously, it is clearly not a full layout, because the highest weapon that you could get to was the max level cap, or I think it was 34 or whatever, that you had to see and choose from. So obviously this is not a complete list of the weapons, especially since they had no MP40 in the submachine class. So I guarantee that's not every weapon in the game already, because if they don't have the MP40, I'm going to tell you what. But anyway, besides the point, the weapons were honestly really well done. I like the look of them, the feel, the sound. Honestly, I'm going to go back to the feel in a second, but the sound of the weapons, that M1 Grand ping every time you unload the clip, honestly gives me an instant boner. So honestly, you can't complain about it. As far as everything goes, everything looks realistic, sounds realistic. I'll talk about the feel later, because that is something I feel like can have improvement on the game. But other than that, weapons are well done so far. First impression is really well. Now we look at the basic training perks, or basic training for the different little ribbons you can get on the bottom of your custom division here. These are basically perks in a sense. There's a lot of them. So they're basically simplified, broken down perks that are assigned a basic training title, like Farage or Rifleman. And all these have different perks, and they're not like crazy, like stopping power, juggernaut perks or anything. They're more like just simple, like can shoot while sprinting, or can carry 2 weapons. There's something simple, not too over the top crazy and overpowered, which is really nice. I like how they did that. And then along with the division, you have another assigned specialty, like air suppressor for all submachine guns if you're airborne. I think that's really unique, and it'll definitely create some more diversity with create a division/class system. The character customization, you can choose different faces and outfits, which in Call of Duty is one. I know in Modern Warfare Remaster they did that, and I think a couple of the Call of Duties like Black Ops 3 and I believe Infinite Warfare also had that too. I didn't play much of that because I was more of a COD 4 remaster. But other than that, from all the other titles, it's just the same kind of generic basic customization, not too crazy. So for that, I'd say that's pretty cool too, just keeping it the same. I would like to see more additions, obviously, on that, but unfortunately, it's Call of Duty. We don't play it for the character customization, play it for the competitiveness. Alright, now we come into the gameplay itself, the big meat of the game that in the review we need to talk about. So when you first get to the main opening of the map, when you start the match, the pictures that go with the map titles, honestly, the best thing I've seen in any Call of Duty. Well done graphic wise, and well done really interpreting the feel of the World War II battle itself. Especially my favorite one right now is Point du Hoc. I think it's cool having all the trench coat people go into the trenches under gunfire, and the scenery of explosions in the background really brings the element of war to the game itself. So they did really well with that. Now let's go into the actual maps. So far, the maps I played are very well done. They got a classic 3-lane feel to them, even though it's not fully 3-lane, which I really like because I feel like, in personal opinion, first-person shooters need to have 3-lane maps because that really brings out the skill in planning and strategic going of where you're going to plan your next movement or takedown, whatever it may be, or objective. So I think so far the map layouts are really well done. There's not too many openings in every which direction. So there still is some camping, which is an element of all first-person shooters. However, you can still run and gun, which is my favorite thing to do. So they have that in there. Now let's go to the actual gameplay itself. Now, from fighting everyone to camping to whatever you may be, score streaks alone, everything there works really well. I feel like in unison with the different divisions and the new perk systems and stuff they have and the map layout, everything works really good in conjunction. I've not seen really any downfalls to the gameplay, nothing wonky or out of the ordinary. It's a classic first-person shooter, Call of Duty run and gun. That's never going to change. I really don't see any game engine changes. Everything looks the same as they always do. With that being said, I honestly think that the actual gameplay itself is still too similar to really make a really good review on. It's not too different, but it's definitely different from the other Advanced Warfare titles that Sledgehammer Games made with the jetpacks. I think now that everyone was used to the jetpacks from Sledgehammer engines or Sledgehammer gameplay, so now when they're playing this all boots on the ground, is honestly something that they are getting used to now. I think everyone's getting used to this because they used to play with the jetpacks and everything from Black Ops 3 to Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare. So this is a whole change of pace completely, which honestly brings me back to the Call of Duty I really loved to play, was the simple boots on the ground and maybe kill streaks. So in all essence, it works well. Gameplay, everything's really well. Now I'm going to talk about the game modes. And I'm going to also emphasize on the new game mode War, which I'm actually kind of in love with right now, to be really honest with you. Game mode's the same, domination, team deathmatch, you can jump right into it. But honestly, I was a big fan of the new War game mode. This game mode featured many different styles of gameplay in one mode. So for instance, you go through how you go through different portions of objectives in order to fulfill all 4 objectives total throughout the match to win the game in a certain time. I think is really cool. You open with capturing a headquarter, then you push the enemy back to start building a bridge, which takes a lot of time and sacrifice. Then you get to escorting a tank and defending a bomb plant. I really think it's cool they brought every single element from every game type into one to make it feel like you're playing a mini story mode, 6v6 kind of thing. So I'm honestly going to say, hands down, War is pretty successful so far. I really hope they have more than just one map. I know it probably takes a little bit more effort to put in different maps and make different maps for this game mode, because you do have a lot of pushbacks in a lot of different areas of the map. But other than that, game mode's same basic thing Call of Duty always presents to you. Nothing different there. So now I'm going to talk about the actual overall opinion that I have decided to give it, especially with the 1 to 10 rating, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. So what I thought about the beta, I had a lot of good ambition that this game was going to be great, and intuition. Like, I thought this game was going to be honestly the coolest thing. Back to boots on the ground, a World War II style game, back all over again from when I first played Call of Duty at Call of Duty's finest hour, and oh god, that's a long time ago. But if I were to give it a rating right now, I'd say 8.75 out of 10 is definitely the rating that's well deserved. It's not overrated, underrated. With all the gameplay elements that they brought, the basic 3-lane maps with some different coverage of camping and some running and gunning. With all the gameplay modes and the new war mode and stuff, I think things are looking very good for the game, and I'm really expecting it to maybe hit a 9 once it comes out, which is honestly very generous rating considering after Ghost, ratings have tanked for Call of Duty. I know Game Informer and all these magazines say, the ratings that they are, but no, there's no way. Some of those games do not deserve the ratings they got. But I think this one right here is starting to go over the 8 crest, and I'm going to give it an 8.75. Now for the improvements, there's only one big improvement I noticed. There's some smaller things, but that's more personal opinion, so I'm not going to actually, include them. The improvements of this game so far are the weapons, power, and structure. Trench gun, double barrel shotgun. I've never had so many weak shotguns in my life. I could not tell you how many times I was 2 feet away from someone and blasted their face off, and I hit marker. Hit marker after hit marker. It was always a 2-shot shotgun kill. If I got lucky, it was 1 if it was near the freaking head. So I think that's unrealistic completely. I think that shotgun, a trench gun from 10 feet away will blow you to bits. 1 shot, no problem. Also, the Tommy gun, having so much power, very little recoil, and most rapid fire, besides a PPSH, is ridiculous. Considering I know the level to get that gun is 35 or 34 or whatever it was. It was pretty close to max cap on the beta. I don't think a gun like that should deserve all that power. That just makes every other submachine gun obsolete. And it's going to turn to the MP7 like they had in Modern Warfare 3, where you can literally snipe people with a submachine gun. So that is what I think needs improvement to get it a 9 rating. I'm not sure. I believe my expected game rating that I would give this for future release in on November 3rd is definitely a 9. I do expect them to take this beta seriously and really improve on it, because Sledgehammer has a very golden opportunity to take Call of Duty back to the roots, which it already has essentially, but has to take the title back to a more prestigious standing from when it was in COD 3 and 4 and World at War and even Modern Warfare 2. Back in the game's climax, peak players. I feel like Sledgehammer has a good opportunity, and I really hope they don't blow it. So this is my game review, our official beta review of Call of Duty World War II, and I really hope to get to finally review the full game when it comes out November 3rd, and I will be playing a ton more of this game when it comes out alongside Destiny 2. So if you really like this video and you're interested in seeing more of my gameplay and stuff like that, stay informed, subscribe, definitely leave it a like if you really like it and believe in my review. And if you want to honestly comment some stuff that you think is different from my opinion, or comment some things you think need improvement in the game or what you like about it, go ahead and leave a comment. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and have a good day.